connection established.
Entrez dans un monde où l'inspiration rencontre la transformation, où les pensées deviennent des actions et où chaque instant est une opportunité de grandir. Bienvenue dans Rising Come. Ici, je vous parle de la vie, des profondeurs de l'existence. Je vous dévoile les trésors cachés de la sagesse et les clés pour libérer votre potentiel. Préparez-vous à être élevé, encouragé et guidé vers une version plus épanouie et authentique de vous-même. Installez-vous confortablement car on s'apprête à entamer un voyage passionnant. Let's rise and communicate together. Hi everyone, and welcome to the 9th episode of Rising Come. I'm so happy to have you here with me again. Oh, wait, you didn't click on the wrong podcast. Yes, I am talking in English. And today, we're diving into something really important. Making tough decisions and stepping out of your comfort zone. And just to prove that I'm not just talking the talk, I'm actually stepping out of my own comfort zone right now by doing this episode in English. So bear with me if my pronunciation isn't perfect or if I make some mistakes. We're not aiming for perfection here. We're aiming to push ourselves and grow. And that's what this episode is all about. Not being afraid to make mistakes and just going for it. So let's get into it. Let's be honest, making tough decisions is stressful. It's like standing in front of a door that says unknown on it, and your brain immediately wants to turn around and run. Staying in our comfort zone feels so much safer, doesn't it? It's predictable and there are no surprises. But here's the thing. If we never step out of our comfort zone, we will never grow. We will just keep repeating the same things over and over, and before you know it, life starts to feel stuck. Now, let me tell you about a personal experience. When I arrived in Canada, I had this idea in my head that I had to find a job quickly. It didn't matter what the job was, I just needed to work. That's what I thought we were supposed to do. You know, new country, new life, and the pressure to settle in quickly. And you know what? I got really lucky. I found a job just 1 month after we arrived. And I thought to myself, yes, this is it. This is the path I'm supposed to follow. It was a job at a big American company, well paid, and the work environment was actually amazing. I couldn't have dreamed of more positive and supportive workplace. The company was fantastic, the people were great, and the vibe was really good, but the job itself, not so much. And after 2 months, I started to feel that something was off. There were too many challenges. The long commute was exhausting, especially since I had to rush to pick up my daughter after work. I felt like I was constantly racing against the clock, always stressed. And even though the company itself was amazing, the job and the role just didn't suit me. The schedule didn't align with my life, and I kept hearing this voice in my head saying, corporate life is not for me, is not for me. That realization hit me hard. And so, after a lot of thinking, I made the tough decision to quit. It wasn't easy. Financially, it was risky, but staying in that job felt even worse. I decided to look for a part-time job that fit better with my life. But it took time, and during that time, I made another tough decision. I started this podcast. I had no tools, no experience, no equipment, and definitely no audience. But I had a passion for it, and that's what kept me going. Since then, I've started freelancing, teaching French to corporate employees, and of course, continuing this podcast. These were two big, difficult decisions, but I'm so glad I made them. So, what's the lesson here? Taking the first step, and I won't sugarcoat it, it's very hard. It feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down and thinking, am I really going to do this? And trust me, your brain will come up with a million reasons why you shouldn't. It will say, what if you fail? What if you make a mistake? What will people think? But once you do, something amazing happens. You start to fly. It's crazy at first, and you might feel like you're falling, but eventually you learn how to navigate. And here's the truth, the hardest part isn't the jump, it's everything that comes after. Because once you've taken the first step, the real work begins. You will hit obstacles, make mistakes, and feel uncertain. But that's all part of the process. And guess what? You will keep going because you've already made the choice to move forward. You just need to be brave enough to make the first move. And think about it like this. If you're driving at night with your headlights on, you can only see a few meters ahead, right? But you keep driving anyway, trusting that the road will unfold as you go. That's exactly how it works with difficult decisions. You won't have all the answers right away. But as you move forward, the next step will always reveal itself. And here are a few practical tips to help you take that leap. Tips I've used to get where I am today. And I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I know I will get there. First tip. Start small, but start now. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in one day. Taking a first step can be as small as saying no to something that doesn't serve you, or saying yes to an opportunity that excites you but also scares you. The key is to just start. Once you get moving, momentum will take over and each step becomes easier than the last. Embrace the fear. Fear isn't something to avoid, it's something to use. If something scares you, it usually means that it matters to you. When you feel fear, see it as a sign that you're on the edge of growth. So instead of running away from fear, lean into it. It's your guide, telling you that you're on the right path. I actually talked about this in an entire episode before. You can listen to it, I think it's episode 6. Redefine failure. A lot of us are afraid to take the first step because we think, what if I fail? But what if we flip the thinking? What if instead of seeing failure as the end, we saw it as a part of the learning process? Failure isn't a stop sign, it's a stepping stone. It's how you grow, how you learn what works and what doesn't. So allow yourself to fail, knowing that each failure brings you closer to success. Focus on progress, not perfection. One of the biggest obstacles to starting something new is the idea that you need to be perfect from the start. Well, let's get real. No one is perfect at something when they first begin. What matters is progress. Each small step forward, even if it feels awkward or messy, is a win. Don't wait for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. Start where you are, with what you have, and watch how far you can go. And trust me, I know what it is like. I'm a bit of perfectionist too. I always want things to be perfect before I show them to the world. But lately, I've learned, or let's say I've accepted, that perfection doesn't exist. So it's better to start to do what you can do now rather than wait forever for things to be flawless. Surround yourself with support. It's easier to take risks and make tough decisions when you're surrounded by people who support and believe in you. Whether it's friends, family, or even an online community, find those who lift you up and encourage your growth. You don't have to do this alone, but if you don't have that support right now, it's okay. Remind yourself that you're doing this for you, and sometimes that's enough. Be strong enough to move forward, even if no one around you believes in your vision yet. You've got to believe in yourself first, and the rest will follow. And the last one, celebrate every win, no matter how small. We often wait for the big accomplishments to celebrate, but the small wins matters just as much. If you took even the tiniest step out of your comfort zone today, celebrate it. Give yourself credit for showing up and trying. Every step forward is a victory. So here's what I want you to remember. Every big change, every bold decision starts with a single moment of courage. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be fearless or perfect. What you need is the willingness to take that first step, no matter how small. Yes, it's going to be challenging. Yes, there will be days when you doubt yourself. But those moments, that's where growth happens. That's where you prove to yourself just how strong and capable you really are. So don't wait for the perfect time, it doesn't exist. The life you want, the change you're dreaming of, starts right here, right now, with the courage to begin. Trust yourself and take the leap, because once you do, you will discover that you're stronger than you ever imagined. As we come to the end, I really hope you enjoyed this episode, especially the fact that I stepped out of my comfort zone and did it in English. Just so you know, I prepared extra hard for this one. I'm not always comfortable speaking English. Well, it's not my first language, and I definitely don't master it like I do French. But guess what? I just proved to myself that I can do it. And just like me, you can do anything you set your mind to. If you liked what I shared with you today, don't hesitate to leave a 5-star rating. It really helps me grow this podcast, and a little review would mean the world to me. Plus, don't forget to share this episode with someone who might need to hear it. It's time for me to say goodbye, but remember, every little step counts on your journey. See you very soon in the next episode of Rising Come. Take care and keep rising. Ciao!